What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Mind Something. If you're new here, my name is Jake, and in today's video we're going to talk about the new lolMiner version 1.64. Also got an update for you guys in regards to Caspa, FPGAs, and the Bitstream. Apple and Nvidia, are they going to use TSMC's new Arizona plant? The 4080 could be getting a lower price. We've got a launch date for the 4070 Ti. And Ergo looks like they're wrapping up their ledger support, and Radiant has got some big news. So before we get into it, you know the drill. Do me a favor, hit the like and hit the subscribe if you haven't already. Let's just jump straight into the crypto market. Right now, Bitcoin is sitting at 17,000, Ethereum at 1263, XRP at 39 cents, Dogecoin at 10 cents, Cardano at 32 cents. Polygon's had a pretty good week. Currently sitting at 91 cents, but up about 12% for the last 7 days. Polkadot, $5.49. Litecoin at $81. Let's go ahead and take a look at Caspa and a few of the other usual suspects here. So Caspa is doing pretty well over the last 24 hours. We're back up to 0.008, and we're up about 13% on the last 24 hours. And I have no doubt that Caspa will soon be at a penny once again. It'll be interesting to see if that line of resistance continues to kind of hold it down, but I have suspicions that it's going to continue and it'll pump right past that penny here shortly. So the big news of the day for Radiant is getting listed on CoinMarketCap. This is a really big deal, and obviously it made a huge difference in the price. We are currently up over 30%, or right at 30% for the last 24 hours. Now this particular chart isn't going to go past that because it just got listed. But yeah, hopefully you guys got a nice bag of this. I think it's going to continue to pump, but I would suspect that we're probably going to have a pullback, or at least I wouldn't be surprised if we have a pullback. People got to take profits. I mean, we're up 30% in 24 hours. You know, for those, traders out there, I can't imagine why they wouldn't take a 30% profit, especially if they're able to use leverage on this. They could be sitting on some nice gains in a very short amount of time. But I guess we'll find out tomorrow, probably about the time you guys are watching this video. Right now, for me, it's about 6:45 p.m., but you guys will probably see this about 8:15 in the morning or later. So it'd be interesting to see what happens. Let's go ahead and take a look at a few of the other coins real quick. So let's look at Ravencoin, down less than 1%. Let's take a look at Flux. So Flux is sitting at 54 cents, down about 3% right at this moment. Not having a great day, but not a terrible day, right? Let's take a look at Ergo. I think Ergo was up a little bit last time I checked it. Yeah, it's up about 2% right now. $1.39, not bad. So, I like to keep my emotions in check and sometimes be a contrarian to how I'm feeling. And right now, with everything that's happened, the FTX situation, earlier today, something that I was watching, they were talking about someone asking an AI bot, if you were going to destroy crypto, how would you do it? And it outlined a pretty solid strategy on how it would eliminate crypto. And when I hear things like that, it's so negative, and it really toys with my emotions. And lately that's been happening a lot. But to be a contrarian to that viewpoint, in the past, it's always worked out very well. When you get that feeling that, man, I don't know if this is going to work, and maybe I should pull out, maybe I should sell now. Historically, those are the best times to jump in. And I'd like to continue to DCA, but, it's Christmas time. I got to do shopping right now. Funds are a little bit tight, but, not financial advice, but for me personally, if I had the money, I'd probably be sticking a little bit back into the market right now. But anyways, one investment that I am super happy with is my solar array. And you guys have probably seen this a few times, but today we produced roughly 20.7 kilowatt hours, which is under par for what we typically do. And according to a comment that I got previously asking about, is it time to clean the solar panels or is it just that time of year? And apparently it is just that time of year. The position of the sun in the sky, the seasons, that's going to have a significant effect on how much solar we are producing. And it's not producing like it was when I first installed it. Getting up to about 3,600 watts at the peak. There's been plenty of times where I hit 6,000 watts. So I'm looking forward to the summer months when we're producing a lot more. But again, going back to the mining Ethereum days, I was using twice the power that I'm using right now. So it's kind of working out okay. And I kind of wanted to run you guys through the numbers on my return on investment with this real quick. So those of you that have been watching the channel for a while, I spent just under $3,000 for about a 7,500 watt system. And, I've always based my return on investment on what my electricity rate is, but I neglected to base it on some of the other rates that are out there. And I think it's pretty safe to say that a lot of you are sitting somewhere between 13 cents per kilowatt hour all the way up to, I don't know, maybe 40 cents per kilowatt hour, depending on your geographical location. But let's just say, for example, if I spent $3,000 on this system, and going back to what I've produced so far, 1,563 kilowatt hours. We've had it installed for about 2 months. So 1,563 kilowatt hours, or just say 1566, divided by, let's say 15 cents per kilowatt hour. Or excuse me, I did this wrong. Times 15 cents per kilowatt hour. Oh my gosh. So that's $234 that it would save you if you were paying 15 cents per kilowatt hour. If you divide that by 2 months, you are saving $117.45 per month. Now, if you spent $3,000 on this system, divide that by $117 per month, it would take you roughly 25 months to hit return on investment here, or 25 and a half months, which is phenomenal. And if you're paying more than 15 cents per kilowatt hour, I mean, I don't know, makes total sense to me. For $3,000, I think some of you out there probably spent that much on a couple of 3080s or a 3090 or maybe a 4090. And, to be able to offset all of my electricity for mining, it's a no-brainer to me. And I may purchase some additional GPUs with the new series coming out, mainly just to show you guys, just for the channel. But there's a really good chance that if I have, let's say for instance, a nice Christmas bonus, I'm probably going to put that towards more solar because I have room to expand. But anyways, moving on, let's talk about this article that I saw saying Taiwan Semiconductor wins Apple, Nvidia as first customers of the Arizona plant. Now, this isn't an entire article that I have to read to you guys. There's just some bullet points here that I wanted to go over. So they'll likely be the two of the first customers for Taiwan Semiconductor Manufacturing, or TSMC, at the new Arizona plant. The plant will likely begin making some of the most advanced chips as early as the end of 2023. Apple emerged as the most crucial first-wave customer when the plant began production, with Nvidia likely to follow suit. Other top U.S. chip developers, including AMD and Xilinx, are also in talks to buy output. TSMC originally planned to produce 20,000 wafers a month in Arizona, but it now aims to double that capacity and make even more advanced chips there. TSMC initially targeted chips using the 5 and 4 nanometer process technology for iPhone 14 and iPhone 14 Pro. Under the new plan, the Arizona plant will make a further 20,000 wafers a month using 3 nanometer. Investment for the 3 nanometer expansion could be more significant than the $12 billion TSMC investment in the plant's first phase. TSMC's founder Morris Chang has confirmed that TSMC will bring the latest 3 nanometer chip production to the US, but also said that manufacturing in the US will be 50% more expensive than in Taiwan, which is very interesting. So a lot of different things are going to be a factor here. Number one, the cost of labor is going to be significantly higher in the US. But is that going to outweigh the cost of shipping from Taiwan? It'd be interesting to see what happens. I've had some debates with different people online, and that they're saying, look, there's no way that GPUs are going to get any cheaper if they're manufactured in the US, and for the reasons that I just mentioned. But I think that could possibly be the case initially, but I think over time they're going to be able to get logistics down a little bit better. They'll be able to start cutting some cost here and there and saving things as they ramp up production. But I guess time will tell. We'll just wait and see. And speaking of Nvidia GeForce RTX 4090 and 4080s receive a 5% price cut in Europe, now available below MSRP. Now, I'm not going to get into this entire article. I just wanted to point something out specifically in regards to why they dropped the price 5%. And that is because the price reduction only reflects changed dollar to euro exchange rates. At launch, Nvidia had calculated with less than 98 cents, dollar to euro, but it's currently 1.05 cents. This is exactly what Nvidia now passes on to European consumers. However, this also means that nothing changes for US customers. So if you're hearing, things, you're watching YouTube videos or you're reading articles that say that the 4080 is going to get a price reduction because they're scared of the launch of the 7900 XTX and the XT, perhaps they do lower it, but as far as the current price cut, it's only in Europe, and it's only as a result of the exchange difference between the dollar and the euro. And right now the DXY is dropping, and I believe the euro is doing quite well. So will this change more in the future? Perhaps, but are we going to see that in the US? It's not very likely, in my opinion, but I don't know. Maybe Nvidia does have some plans to drop it either after Christmas, or maybe they'll have a couple of specials right before Christmas. I think we'll find out here in just a couple of weeks. And another article in regards to Nvidia. We've got a launch date for the 4070 Ti. The countdown has begun. 30 days and 9 hours left, which is going to expire on January 5th. Now, I don't think it's going to be available in the US on that launch date. Let's go ahead and read a little bit of this here and see if it says. Okay, Italian retailer Draco.it has listed the first custom Nvidia GeForce RTX 4070 Ti graphics card, which comes from AIB Asus. The graphics card is the Asus GeForce RTX 4070 Ti Tough Gaming overclock variant, which has the SKU code, whatever. The graphics card is said to launch on the 5th of January, and that's the same launch date that we had reported in our exclusive last month. Now, as to what kind of graphics card the Nvidia RTX 4070 Ti might be, we came to know, well, they're getting into the fact that it was the 4080 12 gig, and we all know that. We've covered that many times. Yeah, that one thing that did catch my eye, though, was this right here. Oh no, I'm sorry. It's still a 3070. I thought there might be an 8 gig variant of the 4070 Ti, but that's not the case. It's actually the 3070 Ti that was an 8 gig. So, yeah, I don't think we can expect to see these that quickly in the US. Another big question mark is what's the price going to be? You know, the original 4080 12 gig coming in at $899 was just absolutely ridiculous. The current 3070 Ti retails for, what is it, $599? So $600. Are we going to see a $600 4070 Ti? I highly doubt it. Maybe $699, probably $799. But I guess we'll find out on January 5th, or maybe sooner. I don't know. I'll keep you guys updated if we find something out. Next, let's take a look at profitability or lack thereof. I did notice something very interesting that I want to point out here. So obviously you guys know the size of my farm. You know that we get roughly about 12 gigahash at about 1800 to 1900 watts. And that's the only thing that's going to show profitable on this particular page of what to mine, coming in at 91 cents. So we're doing a little bit better than we were yesterday, but not by much. But the thing that caught my eye and that I've been paying attention to, and you guys should probably be paying attention to as well, is Ergo. Yesterday, it was negative $3 and I don't know, 50 cents roughly. And right now it's negative $2.14. So we're getting very, very close to break even on this. And one thing that I noticed here on hashrate.no, on the left-hand side, they're going to list what is the highest revenue mining. And then on the right side here, they list what is the highest profit. So for example, on a 4090, you've got $1.21 in revenue mining or dual mining Ergo and Caspa with a profit of 37 cents. But on Radiant, you're coming in at 98 cents in revenue, but 49 cents after profit. And here's my question. If, let's say, for example, if you're interested in accumulating Ergo and Caspa, and you don't think Radiant's going to do what either one of those projects will do in the future, why wouldn't you just mine Radiant and exchange it for Ergo and Caspa, as opposed to dual mining it, burning a lot more power and putting a lot more stress on your GPUs? And if your rigs are in your house, you know, maybe that makes sense. Maybe you need the heat, but for those that are, you know, hosting them somewhere else, or you have them in a detached building of some kind, it just makes more sense to mine the most profitable coin and then swap it out for what you want. But going back to Ergo, take a look at the difficulty here real quick. So this is the yearly chart, or excuse me, the all-time chart. Let's take a look at the year. As you can see, we're getting pretty low and pretty close to the pre-merge highs here. And as you can see, we're sitting right at 3 on the difficulty. We did drop down slightly below that. Let's take a look at the week. Yeah, 2.75 there. Taking a look at the daily, bottomed out at around 3. Yesterday we mentioned that there is a new Ergo pool on ViperNet, and someone mentioned that in the comments that the stratum for South America had a worse ping time than the one in the US. So for any of you guys that are in South America, perhaps the US server or the US pool is a better stratum to use, just FYI. Anyways, going back to what to mine here real quick, let's go ahead and take a look at Radiant profitability. So with that significant pump that we've had, I would imagine profitability is even higher, even though after Red Panda's video, difficulty has shot up. So we're using about 2,000 watts with 22 gigahash. Yeah, we're sitting at $11 a day in revenue and $6.24 a day after power. So that's significantly higher than mining Caspa directly. And for those of you guys out there interested in accumulating Caspa instead of Radiant, would make a lot more sense to mine Radiant and then exchange it for Caspa. And full disclosure, I did make a video on how to exchange your Radiant for Caspa using TradeOgre, but I deleted it because A, it's not really something that I want to recommend that everybody do. I believe Radiant's a pretty good project. I'm not shilling Radiant. I'm not shilling Caspa. I think they're both great, and I collect both of them, and I try and have an even bag of both. But one of the main reasons that I deleted that video was because in TradeOgre, whenever I sent my Radiant to TradeOgre, there's only a USDT pair for Radiant. And at the time of recording, there was only a Bitcoin pair for Caspa. Now, I know there's supposed to be a USDT pair for Caspa, but it was not available. So I had to go the long route and exchange some Radiant for USDT, and then exchange USDT for BTC, and then exchange BTC for Caspa. And that should not be the case. And ironically, after I finished the video and went back and was doing some editing, I was looking at TradeOgre once again, and what do you know, there's the USDT pair for Caspa, which was quite frustrating. So I just deleted the video. But just so you guys are aware, you should be able to exchange Radiant for Caspa and vice versa with USDT and not have to use the BTC pair. So anyways, so if you're wondering what I'm mining right now, I've currently got this rig right next to me turned off because the fans are pretty loud. But at the moment, I am mining Radiant. And I'll continue to mine Radiant so long as it is more profitable than anything else. Anyways, so what else do we got for today? We got lolMiner version 1.64, and I'm sure you guys are probably already aware. You've probably seen Seb's video. I think Rabid Mining also put out a video about this. Now, I haven't switched my rigs over because I believe there's some issues with the fans as well as a couple other little bugs that might need to be worked out. And in order to install this on Hive OS, you have to go the long route. You can't just go in there and select it in your flight sheet. It's not currently available, and I'll show you. Actually, let's go down to one that already has lolMiner. So yeah, if you try and select it, it's not available. Yes, I can install it, but I don't want to install it yet if it's buggy, because I don't want to replace my 1.63 that's working just fine. Now, I could switch this to, you know, a lower version and then do the install and not have to worry about having to uninstall it if I want to go back to 1.63. But I think I'm just going to give it a little bit and wait for those issues to either be resolved or for it to be available in Hive OS. Now, I do need to redo a video that I made previously with lolMiner versus BZMiner on Caspa. And the reason I need to redo that is to make a truly fair comparison between the two. lolMiner was kind enough to provide me with a link for a pool with static difficulty. In other words, the difficulty is going to stay the same. There's no var diff. It's not going to change. And that is a true proper test to show you. And I think everybody can agree at this point that lolMiner, especially with this newer version, is probably going to outperform BZMiner, not only in hash rate that's visible, but as well as shares on the pool. But I want to confirm that for you guys, so stay tuned. We'll have a video for that probably in the coming days. Anyways, going back to Ergo. So I noticed this tweet earlier today saying Ergo submitted code to Ledger, hopefully final review. I don't know how many reviews there has been yet, but hopefully this is the last one. I would love to see support on Ledger for Ergo. That would be massive. And, you know, to continue on Ergo's situation here, you know, we speculated yesterday that it perhaps has a little bit more downside to go depending on which way the crypto market as a whole goes. But I would really like to outrun hash rate on Ergo, if FPGAs are coming, they may perhaps already be there. In fact, I assume that they're already there. But, you know, once those E300s from Osprey gets released, there you may look back at this time and say, man, I really wish I would have accumulated some Ergo. So anyways, last thing I wanted to take a look at was Flux's difficulty. As you can see here, we bottomed out roughly around November 6th, and we're back up just a little bit. But, you know, honestly, considering that Caspa and Radiant are profitable to mine, I'm surprised we haven't lost more hash rate. Kind of like I was surprised that hash rate didn't fall off around this time frame, getting into October when hash rate was falling off of all of the other GPU mineable coins. So, you know, looking back at profitability or what to mine, let's take a look at Flux real quick. Scroll down here a little ways. So right now, negative $3.69. And I think the last time I looked at it, it was right at $5 negative. So, man, I really wish that I could be mining more Flux. Yeah, I mean, I could, and I could take the hit. Let's see what Flux would be at my actual kilowatt hours here. So I'm roughly at about 6.5 cents per kilowatt hour at this very moment, which would put Flux at negative $1.17. And I tell you what, guys, look at this. Ergo is actually just above break even at 11 cents. So I might go ahead and mine me a little bit of Ergo off and on. I'll let you guys know if I do. But the moment that Flux becomes break even for me, I'm definitely going to throw some hash rate on that. Anyways, that's all I got for you guys in this video. I appreciate y'all watching. Do me a favor on your way out, hit that like and hit the subscribe, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Hey, for those of you guys who stuck around to the end of the video, I forgot to include what I was going to talk about in regards to FPGAs on Caspa and possibly having to have a new bitstream. So we did get a comment from Hawk in here, and I want to show you what he said. So bear with me while I find it. So he says, Caspa mining algorithm will be the same, no need for a new bitstream. And I asked him if he had any more insight, and he said K-heavy hash is the hashing part of the consensus, whereas Dagnite brings further optimizations to the current Phantom Ghost optimization framework at the backbone part of the consensus, and will implement features as the first permissionless, parameterless consensus protocol, which does not pre-assume a latency bound and coverage to the network actual conditions, more in Dagnite paper. So I'm just going to assume that he knows what he's talking about, because he's putting himself out there and saying, no, there's not going to be a new bitstream, which is unfortunate for GPU miners, right? But I'm still going to dig into this. I want extra confirmation, and as soon as I get it, I will keep you guys updated. Anyways, I'm out.